Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Today is an interesting day on the VCR show. Normally, we would be bringing you a review of a really crappy movie me and Roxy went to go see called Imaginary, but we're going to forego the crappy movie to actually kind of jump on a, dare I say, current event topics like a real news team would and talk
Right.
about the crappy situation going on there instead of the crappy movie we saw. So
Got something crappy.
just it's still crappy, but it's just a weird kind of crappy. I want you to know that Roxy is going to save Texas. She said that she is going to drop her towel on the show. Uh,
Yeah,
and because we don't have Pornhub anymore,
it's
apparently.
gone.
And I
You
didn't know
have me.
that. I was like, we just have Roxy, and that's all we
Oh,
got
no, no,
now.
no, no, no.
It totally blew my mind. Roxy told me this morning. We were talking this morning, and she's like, "Did you hear about Pornhub?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And she's like, "There's no Pornhub in Texas anymore." I was like, "You lie." I
I was
said,
like,
"You
nope, it's not
lie."
April Fool's yet.
And then I was like, "You're just trying to panic me." And so I actually went to Pornhub and I saw the statement. I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?"
Hmm.
And then, of course, we have the TikTok issue of the United States and TikTok. And this is just absolutely insane. So today's topic is Pornhub, TikTok, Texas. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
It's like, oh my God, we all need to get it together, people.
Man.
We cannot pass aid to help the Ukraine or Israel or get humanitarian aid to Gaza, but my God, we can make TikTok and Pornhub want to shut down. I was like, this is
And those
ridiculous.
are priorities right there.
Yes, absolutely. Uh, so interesting thing enough, and I'm going to check it in a little bit here. I put out some feelers on Facebook just asking the general question of people's thoughts on the whole current Pornhub and TikTok situation. And let's go ahead and deal with a more severe thing. Let's deal with Pornhub because, oh my God, how how did this even happen?
No,
Uh,
seriously.
like I
I don't
never
even watch porn and I'm offended.
I mean, seriously, like I rarely watch porn, and if I do, it's for research purposes. So
Right. The articles
last
are
time,
good.
yeah, articles are so well written.
They are.
Uh, but I think that really the last time we even used Pornhub on the show was to look at states and kind of like what they perv
Oh,
out to,
yeah.
and that was some time ago. And now we're dealing with it again because Texas has lost its mind somehow. Um, so let me give you the watered down version of what's going on and what has caused this ban in Texas. Um, and honestly, I'm using the wrong terms. It's not a ban in Texas. It is that Pornhub willingly disabled its site in Texas to protest what Texas is doing in the sense of the law. So it's actually kind of a cut and dry situation where you have Pornhub and you have Texas. Texas says passed a law saying that in order to protect minors, the website Pornhub or any adult content site has to verify a person's age before entering the website. Now, this may not sound like a big deal. Like there are a lot of things that ask, hey, what are your age? Or at least ask you to
Yeah.
click a button that says, are you over 18? But it's never really been their issue to verify that you are 18. It just will ask, are you 18 or older?
Right.
And sometimes it asks you to subscribe and it'll ask you the year that you were born type of situation. Um, According to what TikTok had put out in their notice, it seems like Texas was requiring that you verify someone's age every time they
Mhm.
log in. So let's say I went to Pornhub 10 times, okay? each of those times I have to get verification of my age,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know what that would look like coming from Pornhub. You would think you could just do it once and that would be enough, right? Like I was born in, this year on this day, no big deal. And I get it. People can lie about things like that, but people
Mm-hmm.
can lie about anything. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Whatever kind of verification system you create, all you gotta do is do a little math and change the age around. So verification systems probably are not the best, but what Pornhub is arguing is that there's a better way to do that, and it's not through us. The better way to do that is through device recognition. So meaning that your device, which has your information in it, would determine whether you can get into that site or not, which fair enough. If I'm like 15 and I'm trying to get into Pornhub and my phone says no, then hey, that's on the phone and the device. That's
Right.
not on Pornhub. But Pornhub, and I can see Pornhub's point, like who the hell wants to verify their age every time they
Every
they
time they
log
want to
in?
get off.
Kind of like
Like,
one and
what?
done is fine,
It's kind of
but
gonna
like
ruin the mood for me.
exactly
Every
like
time I gotta, God damn, yes, I'm old
like
enough.
yeah,
Like,
wait, uh, here's a verification code to confirm that you got the verification code, and then you got to enter that or whatever ridiculous thing they would
right.
be forced to come up with. Um, that's just insane to do that. And also, it's a cost to do that, and they really shouldn't have to do that because it's not their job. Now, I get it. There is the argument of protecting minors. And I do believe that there needs to be some type of safety guard, like, maybe enter your birthday once, maybe register, whatever. Again, there's
Right.
reach arounds. Nothing's perfect.
Pun intended.
Something you can scroll on on Pornhub, like
On
reach
Pornhub,
around.
there's a category.
So there's that kind of ridiculousness with this. So a lot of people are upset about this. Like, and
Hmm.
because a lot of people don't realize this. So to prevent you from watching porn or adult content is a violation of your First Amendment. It is a violation of the freedom of speech
Hmm.
because you are allowed to create this content. You are allowed to distribute this content as oddly, well, some people call it an artistic form. Uh,
It's art.
yeah, okay. So this art, which even I'm having a hard time trying to convince myself of that. So like this art is just kind of a thing that it is protected by your First Amendment. So to restrict access is a problem for those who are legally capable of doing that. Um,
Ooh, question.
yes,
Does
answer.
this, do you think this, have they blocked like OnlyFans? Is this gonna boost OnlyFans
I
sales?
don't know because OnlyFans is a paid subscription thing. So it
Mm-hmm.
may actually drive more traffic to OnlyFans,
Mm-hmm.
but it may hurt OnlyFans too because here's the thing, if one platform has to do this verification thing, the law is not allowed to discriminate.
Right.
The law will have to say this has to be across the board. Anything that has
Mm-hmm.
adult content, you'll have to implement these horrible, well, not horrible. You have to implement these safety guards, right? Which is fine if you're trying to protect children. But that's really not the job. To me, it's not the job of the company. It is the job of the state to do that. And in reality, in my opinion, it's not even the job of the state to do that. It's the job of the parents to do that. Like you don't want your kid on a porn site, guess what? Don't let them on the porn site. Maybe
Right.
monitor what the hell they're
Aren't
doing.
there like child monitor like
Yeah,
things
there are
on devices now?
yeah, it really is. It really, really is. And I'm just gonna throw some of this stuff out here. Um, a few people have commented on my post here. So my
Mhm.
post, Pornhub and TikTok, let us know your opinion on the ban on TikTok and Pornhub pulling out of Texas. Your opinion may be used on today's episode of the VCR Show. Shameless plug. Um, so Raquel says, "Hello, Raquel. Uh,
Hey,
TikTok is
girl.
so useful, learn so much, and it brings in so much money for ordinary people. And well, the other ones, they don't want rules like that. It's easy for them to just restrict access. But what do you expect from a site like that? Uh, Rudy, my cousin, hey, cousin Rudy, both used to dumb down men and kids." Oh my God, Rudy.
That's funny.
Cousin Rudy, you
Ah,
you got that.
that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say that you're wrong.
I mean, I can't argue, but
You
I
know,
can argue.
uh, okay, Neil, a friend of mine, and he got me on this, much like what you did earlier on the reach around. Okay, you said pulling out of Texas on purpose.
Nice one. Nice one.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you
Nicely
for your
done.
yeah. That
Nicely
that
done.
that is a good one. Leah, good friend of mine out in Austin. It's not about privacy and safety. It's about money. Facebook and Instagram has been Skynet for years. Yes, so true. With proven data failures and fines, in parentheses, if I'm recalling correctly, I've learned more music, health, life hacks, social events, news, and cute things on TikTok than I have on any other platform.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate greed begs for ignorant uh netzes net I think that's right, netzes netizens. So like inner okay, I'm not familiar with that term. That's a new one for me. Netizens to increase profit. Very good. Thank y'all. I'm going to stop there with those opinions. Thank y'all for your opinions. My favorite, of course, will be my cousins. And of course, Neil.
She's
That's
not
also my
wrong.
fit.
I
Pulling.
actually heard someone saying earlier about how like Facebook and the owners of Facebook, Zuckerberg, they like, they give money to all these politicians. They
Mhm,
they pocket they line their pockets, however you say it. So of course they're gonna put because TikTok is such a big thing and it is taking over.
mhm.
And they're not liking like people are leaving Facebook and Instagram and going to TikTok. And of course they don't like that.
The tacky ticks.
So of course they're gonna push these politicians.
Well, I mean, no, I can agree with that. I can agree. I mean, you do align their pockets in order to get these
Mhm.
favors. Like, oh, this other, you know, corporate blah 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 is fucking with us. We need you to go in
Right.
there and do your thing. Now, let's deal with the TikTok situation and why this is a situation. Right now, the TikTok measure has passed the House. So Congress as a whole has to agree on this. And then it has to be sent to the president for executive signature. Now, for those of you who need a little government refresher here, laws cannot get passed unless Congress as a whole or as a majority rule passes this. And it has to pass both houses, which is the House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay. So it passed the House, and now it's going to go into chambers with the Senate. If it passes with the Senate, it's on its way to the president's desk where the president signs it into law. He also has vetoing power, but it has been said that Biden will sign it. Now,
Mhm.
here's the issue as to why they're going through all this. There's fear, and I'm going to use the term fear because I was reading an AP article, and I will place it in the comments. That way, y'all guys can read it and tell me what y'all think. It is from last year. where they were questioning the CEO of TikTok. And basically, it's a fear that China will have access to data on millions of Americans. Apparently, in 2023, 150 million Americans alone use TikTok, which the VCR show has not jumped on board yet.
Not yet.
Roxy, in your personal, have you used TikTok?
Oh my God, I love TikTok.
No, no, but have you used it for your own personal content?
Yes,
Okay, so you have a TikTok account that you
I
create.
do.
Okay. And would you say that's been pretty successful here for you?
I mean, I don't post regularly,
Hmm.
but I mean, yeah, I get a lot of views, and it's
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah, okay. So it works for you
You
in
learn a
creating
lot too.
content.
I've
And it
learned so much stuff.
it is a very useful platform. I think it's a very interesting platform. I myself don't use it, but I don't use it because it's just one less thing for me to have to do. If I bring it onto the show, that's another platform I gotta maintain and deal with, and I'm just not at that point in my life where I
No,
want to add anything else. I'm barely dealing with the Instagram crap, but here we go. Um, what it is, according to this article, is that technically, and like a lot of corporations, TikTok is registered in the Caymans. All right. But their CEO is from Singapore. They are headquartered in China. Because China is a communist country, what the fear is that China, the Chinese government will come in, seize TikTok because they're communist and that's what they do, and then have access to all that data. And that is what they're fearful of.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the
What they
problem
say.
here. Huh?
I said that's what they say.
Yes. Well, that's according to that. Now, the issue is, and this is my issue, but maybe it is very true because I've even seen Facebook do it, and even Facebook got in trouble for it. The collecting of data can be
Hmm.
dangerous, and so having that data in a communist government's hand can be a problem, and more likely they already have it because they are a
Hmm.
communist government. Um, but if you remember, there was a time where even Zuckerberg was called to the Hill to
Hmm.
stand, a couple of congressional, hearings about Facebook and collecting of data and what's going on with that. Because the collection of data is a problem. I do know that like when I was you know, when I was first trying to figure out where I want to go in the sense of getting my master's, I was researching a lot of places and I would just type in Masters of Journalism, see what schools would pop up, right? And then like all of a sudden Facebook, boom, 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 boom. Like, oh, this place has them. Ooh, this place has it. And honestly, that's how I ended up finding my alma mater here, St. Bonaventure, is because it was a Facebook suggestion. And I had
Hmm.
never heard of it, and I clicked on it. So it is collecting data. It is creating algorithms. Now, those can be useful, like it was in my case. Like I found the place where I went to school
Hmm.
because of it. But I can understand how damaging that can be too, because somewhere out there, my data is being collected, and I don't know how it's being used, really.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing to study it, So I understand the fear. The question is, should the United States government be going this far to where they want to ban it and trying to force it out of Chinese control? That's kind of a weird thing to me. It's like I don't know of a time where I've heard of the US government trying to force a country to give up control of a company. I'm sure they've done it. It sounds like a jerk move.
Right.
It sounds like a jerk move that we would do, but
Yeah, definitely does.
but I don't think it necessarily requires us to go this far and have an act of Congress involved. I mean, crap. We have enough problems as it is that we can't resolve, but
Yeah.
hell, that they can lose their mind and come together on TikTok. I was like, we can worry about TikTok and resolve the TikTok situation and make that law pass, but we can't figure out homelessness situation, health disparities, equal rights for individuals, equal pay for women. We can't figure out any of that stuff. We can't
Nothing.
figure out the situation with abused children in foster homes, but we can come together and say, fuck
TikTok.
TikTok,
Mhm.
That's
That we can
ridiculous.
agree on.
I mean,
Like that.
absolutely ridiculous. That the United States Congress can get together on, but acts of war, sending, humanitarian aid to Gaza, or Yemen, it's like, oh God,
I
no,
mean,
well,
you couldn't even get the same percentage to vote on a Speaker of the House, much, but they could pick up on TikTok.
that is so true. Absolutely right, Roxy. They couldn't figure out the damn. We had an issue trying to figure out a Speaker of the damn House, which is way more important because he's a Speaker of the House is, for those of you who have forgotten, third in succession for the presidency. So, like, if the president dies, VP takes over. If the VP dies for some reason, Speaker of the House is in line. What the fuck? We couldn't figure that out. But we'll be damned to come together
But
and mess around with TikTok. That's
yeah, that one we can
ridiculous.
all come together on.
It goes to show, I'm trying not to be anti-patriotic here, but it goes to show how far we have slipped
Man,
as a
so far.
nation morally, ethically, and in the sense of good responsibility or good stewardship to citizens, that we're more worried about TikTok than we are about, you know what? There are children being abused in foster care. There are, issues far greater than this. There's a homelessness issue. There's a
Yeah.
people who starve issue. There's a massive Medicare issue that needs to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But TikTok, yeah, TikTok and
That's the
Pornhub.
one. That's
It,
the
it
TikTok
just
one. Those are the
we.
two
Mhm,
main important things
mhm.
on the docket.
And going back to
Priority.
yeah, and going back to Pornhub, it's not it's not to me. I mean, I understand you have to protect minors. You do have to protect children because there are children are innocent. Sometimes it's not even deliberate. Sometimes they're not even going on there to actually seek out porn. Sometimes it's a kid who may have, Googled something and some all kinds of weird
Yeah.
stuff came up, like, you know, what's my back door? And then, Google all kind. I was like, Pornhub, Red Door, all this other stuff is coming up.
Yeah.
It's not the kid's fault. It's just the way that algorithm is set up. And the kid doesn't know any better and may click it and may get a really horrible surprise.
Yeah.
Uh, but that again, are safety controls that parents need to do. Like parents need to have whether I don't know if net nannies still exist, but that needs to be something that they need to implement. Or guess what? Maybe your child doesn't go Googling things unless you are with your child Googling.
Right. Your child does.
That type of thing. Don't let your kid just like we're so used to like parents nowadays just hand their kid like an iPad or tablet and be like, there you go. And then that's next thing you know,
The kid's gone, and then they're getting traumatized by
yep.
something they found on the internet.
And then they're coming back asking, Mommy, what's a rim job? You
What's
know?
a blue waffle?
Yeah, it's like, why? It's because you let them fucking run off and do that. So I think there's a lot here that maybe overreach on the government's part. They shouldn't be forcing the company to do it. What they should really be doing is doing preventative measures and being like, hey, look, parents, get your shit together and maybe parent or be better parents. In my opinion. I don't know. Roxy, am I wrong? Am I being a douche?
I mean, kind of, because you always are, but
This is true. This is
but
very
no,
true.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're that worried about, I mean, you should be worried about your kids running into porn, and it is easy for them to see it anywhere, even on little games that they play. It could be a little pop-up, that a hacker can put in there or something. You never know. So you just need to
Absolutely.
be extra diligent and extra careful and make sure that you're aware of what your kids are doing on their little games and iPads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just monitor your children.
I mean, seriously, you
If
shouldn't
I
be
had
letting
one,
them.
I'd be hover. What's that? What are you looking at? What is that?
I don't think I would actually let my child onto the internet or let
Oh
them
no,
understand the
absolutely not.
internet until a certain age. I think like uh 10. I think 10 sounds a little old, but it's like 10, hey, this is when me and you are going to learn about safely exploring the internet and what are
Right.
no-no sites on the internet. It's like having the talk, but about the internet, you know?
Right.
So
No,
that
no
kind of thing.
sense.
But I just think, Pornhub is I don't think Pornhub is the problem. I'm normally not a man who defends these kind of things. I know everyone has their own opinion, right?
For
I
sure.
am a man who will say, because it is a First Amendment issue, will
Hmm.
say, look, everyone is entitled to read what they want, look at what they want, express what they want. But it is an issue for me when people come in and interfere with that. And that's why that's a problem for me. It's kind of like saying you can't go to Roxy's content and look at her because she's too sexy for the internet. You have to verify your age. Roxy, I think that would actually probably kill off some of your viewers there, don't you think? Like, having to verify your stuff all the time.
Maybe.
I think
Let's
it
not
would.
let's not find out.
Let's not. Let's not. But
Let's not
here's
find
the
out.
thing, if this gets a little too overreaching, at some point we may be finding out. Like what,
Yeah, yeah. Because what's
people,
the limit? Once they get rid of
yeah.
these things,
And then
where does
here's
it stop?
here's the other thing. What's exactly the definition of adult content? I know we all have an idea of adult content, but like,
Hmm.
okay, Roxy, let's use you as an example. You
Hmm.
know, you have some amazing content out there, right? But you do have some content where like you're covering yourself, right? You're
Hmm.
kind of in the nudes, but
Hmm.
you're covering
Hmm.
yourself.
It's
So all
implied.
your little itty bitty parts aren't completely
First of all, there's nothing
exposed.
itty bitty on me.
Look, so your parts aren't exactly exposed, but who's to say that, that isn't someone else's definition of adult
Right.
content? Someone can say, "Oh my God, I see Roxy's side boob." Well, hell, who can't? Even when she's wearing clothes, you can see Roxy's side boob.
Yeah, it's right here.
It's all over the place.
Everywhere.
You know, again, I'm immune to it, but it is
I,
literally, there are men out there who are not immune to it
I
like I
posted
am.
a photo one time. It was a photo shoot at the beach, and I had this little swimsuit on,
Mhm.
and it was a one piece. It was a really cute one piece. And then I got a message. You can see your nipples through that. I'm like, okay.
Someone was looking really hard,
Yeah,
but
they were. And I'm like, okay.
but who? But you're absolutely right. Here's the thing. Someone says, "Hey, I can see your nipples through that." Well, then, because they can see your nipples through that, does that constitute as adult content?
Right.
And you see like some of these reels, like even these reels, like you have women who are wearing like these mesh deliberate see-through things, and you can see their nipples fully. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting away with it because they do have clothes on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can still see their full breast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does that count? I mean, technically, that's a legal like loop around, but
Right.
in
Mm-hmm.
theory, does that count as
Yeah,
adult content? Because you can still see the nipples.
I can see it.
And then does that mean that Facebook at some point is going to have to start doing age verification stuff because there is
Right.
adult content associated with the reels? So
Mm-hmm.
Texas, what the hell are you going to do when that happens? Shit.
Right. They're
That's
gonna get
how.
rid of everything.
I mean, then you're going to be in real trouble, politicians, because you use that Facebook to your advantage and that Instagram to get out there to give your political messages, to get yourself voted, to be like, oh my God, look at me, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
hip. I know how to do a tweet. Like get the fuck over yourselves. Is my opinion.
Speaking of a tweet.
Tweet, tweet.
I saw a video on TikTok
Ooh.
where the guy was like, "Oh, they got rid of Pornhub. Well, I'll just go to Twitter. That's where all the good porn is." And I was like, "There's porn on Twitter?"
I I didn't even know. See, that's something we're gonna have to research because I didn't even know there is porn on Twitter. Uh, but go ahead and let's go ahead and jump into this. Some of you in the great state of Texas may be asking, how do I combat this? What can I do about this? I want my porn.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound as good as I want my MTV, but I want my porn or I want
I
my
want my
Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Like how can you get this artistic content that
Yeah,
that you want? Um,
classy
and
artist.
that's actually somewhat a little easy. Not exactly easy because I don't know when it's going to come back. But if you go to Pornhub's website and you read their statement, one of the things that they are telling you is to contact your local representative.
Hmm.
For us, unfortunately, one of those guys is Ted Cruz. So contact at your own risk. Not that bright. He may be in Mexico vacationing, avoiding the
Maybe,
situation.
especially if there's a storm.
Just like he did in the freeze and left us all. Uh the other guy you
Hey,
can
you
contact
guys,
the other
I'm
guy you
going on
can
vacation.
the other guy you can contact is Senator John Corman, who I will say this about the senator. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, and I have written him on past issues, but I will tell you this. He actually responds back. Like I've received letters from this man, and even though
Mm,
we don't agree on the same things, he does respond. So that is an amazing thing. I think contacting Corman and unfortunately Cruz is a one way to do that. And then of course your representative, your House representative is by district. So sending them a nice little email too. But you can
hmm.
call them, you can email them, you can do it the old-fashioned way and send in some snail mail there. But I think it'd be a good idea to do that. Matter of fact, that is one of the more encouraged ways to do that. This is an exercise in your civil rights, people. You have the right to protest, you have the right to come out and say some things. God, I
Yeah,
feel like I'm a political talk show host. Don't
I
let's not do
know.
this
We
again,
don't
Rox.
normally do this. We don't
We
get
don't,
political, but this
yeah,
was just bizarre.
yeah, this one was so weird. When Roxy told me about this, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, I just went to bed and I wake up and there's a
And
court
Pornhub's
ruling
gone.
and there's all the Pornhub is gone and like TikTok is everyone's mad at TikTok. I was like, I don't get it. So yeah, long story short, and here's the thing. Also contact your rep.
Call your representatives.
Yeah, call your representative
Long
about
story short.
TikTok as well. I know my rep for the US Congress is Sylvia Garcia, who is a great person. Um, Send your concerns to about TikTok to your reps. You
Hmm.
kind of need to, because it is a violation. And then this is just ridiculous. Tell Texas government, you know, worry about something else. This is not something you need to be worried.
There's more important things
Yeah,
you need to be
there's
worried
just slightly
about.
like the shit educate. Oh, better yet, how about you worry about fixing the power grid?
Fix that.
You know,
That's where we need you to
that,
focus.
no one's complaining about porn. No one,
No,
no one's saying, you know
no.
what?
But I'm complaining about that power grid.
No one is waking up and saying, "Hey, God, I just really wish it was just harder for me to watch porn today."
Please make
Like,
it harder.
please, I mean, God forbid. I just want to not watch porn and make it difficult.
Yeah. Make my life more difficult than it is. Please.
Yes, but
Please.
the power grid and people dying in the cold. Oh, that we can put that on the back burner.
No biggie.
Texas, get it together, baby. You politicians, get it together. If any of you are politicians listening to my show and you actively encourage this, stop listening to our show.
Please.
we you you are no longer our demographic.
No, no, you are no longer welcome
What is
here.
wrong with
You
you?
took my Pornhub.
You
Get out
know,
here.
I,
Get out.
ironically, I see I'm holding my cup, my little. It's the
Come and
classic come and take it. Well, I'll be damned.
right? Well, they did.
Yeah, they did. I'll be
They
damned.
did.
And we's about to get it back. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be a lot of very angry and sexually frustrated Texans out there who,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I'm expecting, I'm expecting, our representatives' phones to be lighting up.
Oh,
But let's say you want to share your thoughts and opinions about TikTok or Pornhub with us as we suffer here in the great state. You can do so at the VCR Show at gmail.com or to our website, thevcrshow.com, our YouTube channel, VCR Show, or in Insta and Twitter at the VCR Show. And please engage with us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want Roxy to drop that towel, well, then you hit her up on her social media platforms and OnlyFans coming soon, right, Roxy? Because you
no.
gotta save the state. At her stuff at what?
On Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at Poprox428, and on TikTok at Thepoproxx. And Poproxx is spelled Poproxx.
And it's just mostly going to be her foot pictures anyway. So until next time, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And come and take it, Texas.
Give it back, Texas.
Bunch of jerks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at the VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library. Need some sweet treats for your next big event, or maybe you just have a sweet tooth? Check out Skippity Cakes. That's Skippity Cakes, SKIPPITYCAKES.com. Check them out for all of your sweet treat needs, things such as cakes, cupcakes, and cake pops. Also, check them out for their varieties of face masks, t-shirts, and coffee mugs. Say hi to our friend Rosie for us.